Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Monday. It's time. It's time to get back to your typically scheduled midweek Seahawks content. We got to move on from last night's game. And I've been thinking about how I was going to start the midweek Seahawks content off this time around because obviously the game wrapped up very late last night and people's minds are still on that game, but we do have to move forward. There's still a lot more games left to play. We still have a lot of this season in front of us. And as much as it's becoming obvious this season is not going to go anywhere good or even passable, we still have to play out the string. There's no sim to end of season button we can push. So I think that the best way to start off this midweek Seahawks run of content is to talk about the injuries from last night because there were quite a few, and that's probably the main thing that stuck with me coming out of this game because I know that some people were really upset that we lost that game last night. Some people were devastated. Some people were just happy that we fought. But for me, it's just kind of like apathy. This team isn't good. I don't think this team is capable of being good because of the coaching, because of the scheme. I don't think this team is going to be good this year. I don't think this team is going to be able to get to a point where they're playing like one of the best teams in the league. So to me, losses are just kind of whatever, and even wins are kind of whatever. Until I see this team string together some high level success, like where they look like a team that could go to the NFC title game, go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. To me, it's just kind of like whatever. So the main thing that I'm looking for from this team right now is positive signs from players who have a chance to be here next year when hopefully things are better, or maybe 2 years from now, hopefully things are better by then, whenever. Because teams turn around quickly in the NFL all the time, and I do believe that with a couple of high level changes, you could see a better team next year or the year after. But my focus is on the young blue chippers on this team. And last night, we had some issues with a couple of them, and I want to go ahead and talk about it. So, that being said, we got this update from Bob Condotta a little bit ago. Pete Carroll says on 710 ESPN Seattle that Darrell Taylor has a sore neck but otherwise appears to be fine. Says again, initial CT scans are clear, but there will be more tests. Says he can't answer if Taylor could play this week. So, that is the best news that we could hear right now. Obviously, there are going to be more tests, but this is manna from heaven for me right now. Darrell Taylor is one of the few guys on this team who I currently believe is a punch it in, blue chipper, part of the future, can be here if Carroll stays, can be here if Carroll leaves, can be here no matter what, because he's playing really well to start the season. So he's one of the few guys who is really making me enthusiastic about his future. And seeing him go down like that last night was just like, I'm just sitting here watching him getting carted off thinking, they don't even want me to have any fun this year. Like, forget losing, forget having a bad team. I can't even have fun this year. I can't even enjoy anything. So, other than sore neck, he appears to be fine. And did not say that he could play this week, and I doubt he will. But the fact that they're even having that conversation is really good news. It indicates that Taylor is going to have a very good chance of coming back later this year, and that his career is not going to be derailed by this. So, of all the things that came out of last night's game, most of which were negative, we can at least say that we dodged disaster with one of our best, most exciting young players. And I don't know how important it is that we get him back this year because this season's not going anywhere, but I would like to see him continue to develop, to see if maybe he can develop some skills that help him play at Sam linebacker because we do have a need there, and I think that he's one of our best candidates on this current roster to be able to adequately play Sam. and he's probably our best pass rusher. So I would like to see him get back out there so he can continue to develop. But at this point, the fact that I can even say that without feeling like an idiot is a big win. So thank God Darrell Taylor looks like he avoided the worst. I'll update later as we learn more, but that is the main takeaway. Bigger than winning or losing last night is Darrell Taylor going to be okay? Because wins and losses happen. Right now, losses are going to happen a lot with this team because they're not good. They're not playing well. But Darrell Taylor has a chance to be a cornerstone for this team going forward. And we just got every indication that he dodged disaster last night and is going to be okay. Other than that, let's take a look at this tweet from Brady Henderson on the subject of Alex Collins. Carroll said it's not out of the question that Alex Collins returns this week after leaving last night's game following a couple big hits. But they won't know more about his status for a couple more days. Carroll reiterated that Rashad Penny is coming back from IR this week. So, unfortunately, reading this tweet, I have to conclude Collins will probably miss a game. Collins is probably going to miss at least one game, and that sucks because he was probably our best player last night. And he's a guy who is playing very well for us, and he's doing all that he can to help this team win, which I can only say for a couple other players. But it seems like there's some minor hip injury going on there, and it doesn't sound like a huge deal, but it sounds like enough. It kept him out of overtime last night, which is something I didn't even notice at the time, but he did not play in overtime, and it's something that I expect to make him miss at least one game. Carroll reiterating that Rashad Penny is coming back from IR this week indicates that he's aware of that and is already thinking about contingency plans, building an offense around Penny and DJ Dallas and Travis Homer and maybe Josh Johnson. Maybe. I know some people really like that guy, so bummer, but again, I'm not really placing a priority on individual games right now. Like, if we beat the Saints next week, which I doubt that we will, but even if we do, it doesn't really matter that much because this team still hasn't shown me they can string together enough high-level success to get to where they need to go. So I'm, in terms of a long-term type thing, Alex Collins might not even be part of the long-term plan here. So, okay. But for those of you who were wondering about Alex Collins, that's what we know. Other than that, some of the players who missed some time in the game last night seem to have something to do with cramps. Carroll said DK Metcalf cramped up during the game and that a number of guys did, and that's something Seahawks may have to address as they also had cramping issues in Minnesota game. So if you noticed a guy missing a couple of plays here or there, I think Brandon Shell was one of them. I think that DJ Reed missed 2 plays. It seemed like it's cramps. So not a big deal. It does annoy me that the team needs to allow it to happen a couple times before they do something about it. But it doesn't seem like that's any kind of long-term concern at all. So that's, I guess, good news. It's certainly better than the alternative at this point. So if you notice somebody coming out for a couple plays here or there throughout the game, this would be the explanation. And finally, we have Damian Lewis, which we have almost no information on. This is about all I could find. Carroll said it's wait and see on Damian Lewis's shoulder injury, so expect him to miss some time. And that's definitely unfortunate because Damian Lewis is a potential blue chipper on this team. He might be one of the guys that you can carry forward even into a new regime with a new coach and a new GM and a new philosophy, because he played well for us last year, and even though he switched positions this year and isn't as good as he was last year, he's still playing pretty well. He didn't play well last night, admittedly, but he didn't play very much. And once Jamarco Jones got out there, you can see that there's a clear difference in quality of play between Damian Lewis and Jamarco Jones. So wait and see from Carroll tells me he's going to miss some time. Again, it's not anything that should derail his career, which to me is what matters right now. However, Damian Lewis is young enough and inexperienced enough to where you can use the rest of this season to get him extra experience so that year 3 next year he can come back with a vengeance and just be ready to make the Pro Bowl, which I don't know if he really is that blue chipper that I was envisioning before the season started. I will say moving him to left guard probably didn't help matters, but I still think there's some real potential there for him to be a cornerstone for this offensive line going forward. So, for those of you keeping track at home, 2 of the 3 players who I viewed as potential franchise cornerstones for the next Seahawks regime came out and did not go back in and look like they're going to miss at least some time. Darrell Taylor and Damian Lewis. So, like I said, man, they don't even want us to have fun this year. Losing sucks, but it happens. But can I at least watch the young guys that I'm excited about? Okay, so that's really all I have for this video. It's mostly good news, honestly, in terms of things that matter. Yeah, Alex Collins missing some time in all likelihood, that sucks, but I'm not sweating it. I don't think that matters in the grand scheme of things, but the Darrell Taylor stuff, that matters. That matters big time in the grand scheme of things, so thank God he's going to be okay. Sounds like it anyway. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, go Hawks. Let me know what you think down below, but hey, we dodged the worst. We dodged the worst, and I'm happy about it. See y'all later.